Hey everyone, and welcome to Fl0z's Flassics, a new series on my channel where I review old video games that I played when I was younger, from my childhood through high school. For reference, I am an older Gen Z in my mid-20s, so I'm talking about games from the late 5th generation all the way through to the early 8th generation, in no particular order. These are meant to be somewhat quick reviews, so I will only be reviewing the portions of the game I played on stream. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you enjoy the video. If not, please dislike, go outside, and touch grass. All of the following footage was captured during my live streams on twitch.tv/FL_0Z. You can find a link in the description. First game on the list was my first ever introduction to a certain PlayStation mascot. I'll give you a hint. It's a kart racer with the words team and racing in it. Did you get it? Yep, it's Crash Team Racing. Wait a minute. That's not quite right. There we are. Crash Tag Team Racing, which I am now going to refer to as C2TR instead of CTTR because I think it sounds better personally. C2TR was initially developed by Traveler's Tales before being handed over to Radical Entertainment partway through development. It was released for the Xbox, PS2, PSP, and Gamecube in 2005 to an average reception. Despite its reviews, I do think if you are a fan of the Crash racing games in particular, you should try it out. This was Crash's third racing game, the first being Crash Team Racing, or CTR, for the PS1, and then Crash Nitro-Fueled, or CNK, for the PS2, Xbox, Gamecube, GBA, mobile, and N-Gage? Who the hell owned an N-Gage? Anyway, I remember playing C2TR a lot when I was a kid. I beat the game 2 to 3 times and just generally messed around. I liked the funny rancid orange marsupial on the screen as his antics reminded me of the chaos that was stick figures on crack. I was just at the age where the humor spoke to me. Little 5 to 10-year-old me thought that the dioramas were absolute cinema. I used to go around Motor World and beat the Wumpa Whip out of the patrons and their children without fear of getting sued, like I imagined every roller coaster tycoon player wanted to do if given the chance to manifest themselves in the game.
I'm going back to Canada.
It relaxed me. Despite all of this, nearly everybody I talk to doesn't know that this game exists. Hey, have you ever played or heard of Crash Tag Team Racing?
Don't contact me.
There once was a snake that didn't care. Got up on a clown. How the fuck did he get there?
The story of this game is incredibly simple. If you care about spoilers for a Crash game, then skip to this time on screen. I really don't suspect this to take too long. Starting off, Chick Gizzard Lips and Stu are two cocks live with XYZ News announcing the closure of Ebenezer Von Clutch's auto racing theme park Motor World due to the missing power gems that, unsurprisingly, power the theme park. Von Clutch also states that he is missing his own special black power gem in his chest, and without it, he will deactivate.
Look, even my beloved black power gem is gone.
One last park-wide farewell race will be held before the park closes, but they have no participants crazy enough to join. At the same time, Crash Bandicoot, his genius sister Coco, who is actually voiced by the same VA for Jimmy Neutron, Debbie Derryberry, and his yoked brother Crunch are trying to escape the evil Dr. Neo Periwinkle Cortex, his niece Nina, and his camel cyborg right-hand man Engine by car. The 6 of them just so happen to crash through the gates, and Von Clutch immediately attempts to recruit them into the race with the promise of full park ownership if they retrieve all the power gems. While the Bandicoots are game, Cortex frankly doesn't give a shit. I don't give a shit. After some convincing from Engine,
This deranged theme park is fertile ground for us to plant a new seed of evil.
Cortex's group decides to join in the hunt to form a new base of operations against the Bandicoots once they secure the deed. Von Clutch introduces Pasadena Opossum, a professional racer who he hired to help keep his ownership of the park. He also introduces Willy Wumpa-Cheeks,
Holy cannoli! What is that thing?
a mutated Wumpa fruit who speaks in rhyme and also produces the park's signature drink, Wumpa Whip, which I assume comes out of that nose tap thing.
Hey, Pally, you look thirsty, and I'm brimming with Wumpa Whip. What are the chances?
Ew. Nothing like sucking the bodily fluids out of some cheeks. From here, there isn't much in the way of story. You play as Crash and go through each of the parks and collect power crystals through various methods to open a container that holds a trampoline that then leads to the power gems. After clearing Mystery Island, Happily Ever Faster, and Tyrannosaurus Rex, we get another cutscene with the Newscocks, Pasadena, and Coco explaining that something fishy is going on. Coco guesses that the power gems were actually stolen and not just lost. After clearing the fourth park, Toontown, Crash wins the park ownership. At this point, Cortex, who looks like he just hit his head in an Albuquerque coffee shop counter, also suspects that subterfuge is in play.
Curses! Curses! Curses!
Coco deduces that, due to the trail of Wumpa Whip present at the site of the stolen power gems, whoever has a connection with it is most likely the culprit. While she says this, Crash is busy sipping on some aforementioned Wumpa Whip, so naturally, they are all convinced it is him.
It's you!
He frowns because he is convinced that he did it too.
I'm the last person I would have suspected, but I was looking for me all the time!
Wumpa-Cheeks, mortified at how stupid everyone is, admits that the culprit is actually him and flees to Astroland with the black power gem in his possession.
So long, fuckers. We only have moments left, but I must get my black rocket.
For some reason, there is an actual fucking functional rocket there that he can use to escape. Finally getting through Astroland, Crash aborts the launch of Wumpa-Cheeks' rocket by throwing the big fuck-off lever to the side of the ship. Willie is then Wumpa-whipped by the Cortex group in a flying machine with a machine gun.
Stop having fun!
Crash, using the power of his own cock, sticks it into the rotor, which causes the ship to blast off through the dome of Astroland.
We'll meet again, Crash Bandicoot!
Finally, the deed to the park is given to the Bandicoots. Coco makes the decision without consulting with the rest of them to return the deed back to Von Clutch, but he is fucking dead. While everyone is mourning, Crash is busy sucking off the rest of Wumpa-Cheeks' whip through the Wumpa tube and chokes on a Wumpa kidney stone. Oh, it's not just a stone, it's actually the black power gem, which Crash promptly spits out back into Von Clutch's chest. He reanimates and thanks the Bandicoots, promising free park passes for life. Crash pats him on the back as thanks, which accidentally ejects the black power gem out, and Von Clutch fucking dies again. Crash immediately books it out of the park to escape from the manslaughter he just perpetuated on live television, leaving the others to their fate. All in all, the story is really simple and tame, but I really did like the cutscenes and the voice acting for most of the characters. My favorite characters are Engine and Chicken Stew.
The deranged genius Cyborg has fabricated the ultimate auto racing theme park.
Man, you ever put a man in a wood chipper?
Indeed.
As I really felt their performances were fantastic. I, however, cannot unimagine Coco as Jimmy Neutron.
Well, the pattern I've concluded from deductive reasoning is that whoever stole the power gems has some connection to Wumpa Whip. This'll show that stupid monkey-faced Nina who the real smart girl is. I mean,
You can't say that.
We'll stop the bad guys
Coco,
for sure
you
with this
can't.
card.
You
Thanks a
can't
bunch.
say that, Coco. There is both a single player and multiplayer mode in C2TR, but I don't really remember ever playing multiplayer because when I had friends over, we usually just play Mario Kart instead. So I am only going to be covering the single player adventure mode, which I played on stream. Both CTR and CNK also had an adventure mode, but while you are stuck driving a vehicle around the hubs in those games, half of C2TR is surprisingly on foot. Yes, half of C2TR is a platformer collectathon. Now, it isn't necessarily as in-depth as the likes of Super Mario Sunshine, Jak and Daxter, or Banjo-Kazooie, but its main aspect is to break up the pace between driving sections. While on foot, Crash moves with the left stick, jumps with A, double jumps with the second A press in midair, does a signature spin with B, and can belly flop by pressing X in midair. These are usually done to destroy crates, press buttons, and defeat the only enemy in the on-foot sections. Yes, I mean the only enemy type besides the platforming. The one type of enemy is the culturally insensitive Ninja Penguin. Fuck you! Why are you here? Why? Why do you exist? Ledge grabbing and shimmying is also a thing here and there. You can interact with objects, usually with Y, if there is a prompt. Sometimes it requires a B press instead. The camera is moved with the C stick, and you can reset it behind crash with R. There is also a first-person camera with L. And for some reason, if you want to see your whole HUD, you can press Z. You can also drive, as it is a racing game. While CTR and CNK both had item boxes and power sliding as their main driving mechanics, C2TR's newly added mechanic was merging. By pressing Y while driving, your cart turns translucent and gets this cool shock effect around it. Getting close to another character's vehicle merges the two of you together, whether they like it or not. Fusion Ha!
Fusion Ha!
Whoa, it worked!
Merging combines the health of your cars, your places in the race, and gives you the ability to use each character's signature weapon, which is separate from the power-ups found in crates, which you can still use by pressing X. By default, if you initiate the merge, you become the turret gunner, aiming with the left stick and shooting with the A or right trigger. You can switch places with the driver by pressing Z. To swap weapons, press B. Just a heads up, aiming is reversed, but you can switch this in the preferences. You can also auto-deny merging from the NPCs, which I wish I knew about when I was little. As a driver, you can accelerate the car by pressing A or R, brake with B or holding L, and power slide by tapping B or L while turning. Power sliding is easier in C2TR because all you do is tap the button once and turn to go faster. No alternating the shoulder buttons like in the previous games. You can also boost by pressing X while driving, but you need 100 boost gauge first. To gain boost, you can either destroy other people's vehicles with weapons and power-ups for plus 25, shoot targets along the track for plus 50, or power slide for a certain amount of time. You can also run over the workers for extra points. Fuck you. The amount of boost you get from power sliding depends on how much distance you cover. The max boost you can get is plus 30, but most times you'll get plus 20. You'll know when you have max boost when giant pulse engines appear on the sides of your vehicle. My main issues with the boost are that you can't gain more boost while already boosting, and that if you already have a power-up in your hand when you completely fill up your boost gauge, you must use the power-up first before you can boost. But these are minor gripes and didn't cause me much trouble. Well, biblically accurate angel. The best response I can give you is, in C2TR, there are 8 playable racers, each with 3 tiers of their own weapons and vehicles. Crash uses the Wumpa gun, which kinda acts like a semi-auto rifle and has slight homing. Cortex has the chargeable energy ball gun, which throws energy balls on the track that explode. Pasadena has a mini tornado gun that acts like little tops which skim along the track until they hit somebody. Crunch has the hot rivet gun, which is just a minigun shooting hot rivets. Coco uses the sticky lightning gun, which shoots lightning balls on enemies. If they have a certain amount on them, they explode. Nina uses the energy shotgun, which shoots a shred of energy that falls off with distance. This is incredibly OP in close range, as it one-shots nearly every vehicle. Engine uses a missile launcher which supports high damage but is pretty hard to aim. And finally, Von Clutch uses a radioactive bomblet gun, which I'd argue is the hardest weapon to use. To upgrade the weapons, you must first unlock all the vehicles for each character. This is done by doing missions in the overworld for them, usually dictated by a key floating over their head. Once you unlock all 3 tiers of vehicles, you just spend some coins for the weapon upgrades. It's kind of stupid how you can't really pick and choose whether you want a upgrade or a new car, but whatever. Some weapon upgrades change how the weapons behave or just boost the damage. I can't really say much about these as I mostly played as Crash, and completely skipped the Tier 2 upgrades by immediately buying the Tier 3 ones. The only difference I noticed was that Crash's Wumpa gun turned into a Wumpa fruit version of Isaac's plasma cutter from Dead Space. However, while the damage was increased, something about it was a bit harder to aim with. I feel like the hitbox was slightly off, and it did make it harder to hit targets sometimes. How are you missing? How are you missing? How are you missing? I have to aim above it. What the fuck? And don't forget, once you upgrade those weapons, there's no going back. So what do you do in this game? Your ultimate goal is to collect all of the power gems to repower the park, but the main MacGuffin that you will seek are power crystals. You spend power crystals to access the trampoline that leads to the power gem in each park. There are 5 parks in Motor World, not including the hub, which you travel through in this order: Mystery Island, Happily Ever Faster, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Toontown, and then Astroland.
Uranus is mine.
Whoa, man! That's messed up!
There are a variety of ways to collect power crystals. Getting first place in each of the 15 races, 3 in each park, nets you 2 crystals each to get you up to 30. Every track also has 4 other modes that award you with 1 crystal if you fulfill the conditions to get a gold trophy. Crashinator has you crash into targets on the track with your vehicle. Rolling Thunder has you in a turret destroying a certain amount of other vehicles before the end of a single lap. Psst. Use Nina. Run and Gun has you breaking a specified amount of targets in the air with your turret. And finally, Fast Lap is just a time trial for a certain time. The activities are fairly lenient in their requirements, so you will probably get most of them, not all of them, most of them in your first try. All of these bring us up to 90 crystals. In 5 of the tracks, there is a hidden crystal you can get from unlocking the secret shortcut in each of the parks. This brings us up to 95 crystals. There are 2 stunt arenas, each giving 1 crystal, so now we have 97 crystals. 2 battle arenas also exist for 2 crystals each, so 101 crystals. There are 8 mini-games to find and win, 2 bowling, 2 shooting galleries, 2 protections, but that one's coming. Oh my god. And 2 line defenses. Die. Yes. Yes. Yes! Which each gives us a crystal for a total of 109 crystals. The rest of the 33 crystals are either sold by the other characters and the park drones in exchange for Wumpa coins scattered around the park.
Take that, student loan. I spit in my mask.
Or they are acquired as bonuses for completing missions for the other drivers.
Okay, Hairball. Here's your power crystal.
And finally, the last crystals are hidden around each park for you to find. Okay. In total, there are 142 power crystals to collect. In actuality, to access the trampolines, you only need 8 crystals in Mystery Island, 10 in Happily Ever Faster, 12 in Tyrannosaurus Rex, 15 in Toontown, and 20 in Astroland. That is only 65 out of the 142 crystals in the game. That is less than half, around 45.8%. That means you kind of have the freedom to play the game how you want it if you're just doing some any percent run. If you were going for 100%, well, it's still pretty easy, but you need to do a couple extra things. Along with getting the power crystals, you also need to find every single hidden shortcut. You also need to find all these diorama cutscenes of Crash getting killed to death in a variety of ways. Most of these boil down to Crash either falling into a pit, getting crushed, exploded, eaten, or farted on. I swear, in Tyrannosaurus Rex there are 3 instances of Crash being roared by a Yeti. I don't think these are required, but there are 8 gag cutscenes of Crash terrorizing the park drones. You might as well get them along the way. You must also complete every track, mission.
Don't suppose a gentleman like you could help a little lady out.
What the fuck? Arena, minigame, unlock every vehicle, weapon upgrade, and character outfit. And do the chicken challenges. Ah, chicken challenges. Well, I never completed these as a kid, because when you find them, this happens. Basically, you have to collect all the chickens that spawn into the park, meaning that you are going throughout the whole level searching for them in a limited time frame that increases when you collect more chickens. It was way too overwhelming for me as a kid, but now as an adult, well, it's not really that hard. It is certainly frustrating if you do mess up, though. We got our win. Oh. You gotta be joking. You gotta be joking. When you complete the chicken challenge, you get rewarded with some Wumpa coins, and all the crates and coins reset in the level, just like when you collect the power gem. So, what do you get for 100%?
What do I win? Nothing!
Nothing.
You get nothing!
Not even a message saying that you have achieved 100%. I didn't even know I achieved 100%. I assumed I did, but I didn't find out there was a way to keep track until I started writing the script. Yeah, the game progress can only be found in the main menu. Funny story, for the final stream of this game, I had to leave at exactly 5 p.m., and I managed to achieve 100% at exactly 5 p.m. So it happened to work out. Not everything. Let's check. All right, one more thing. What? 2 minutes. 2 minutes, guys. Fuck. How did I just not do this one? What are you doing, Crash? What are you doing? We did it. I did it. I did it with a minute to spare. A minute to spare. All right, is that it? That's everything, right? That was it. That was it. That was everything. That was everything. All right, we're good. We're good. 100%. We're done. I gotta get going. Exactly 5 o'clock. Wow. So, is C2TR worth it to 100%?
No.
But it really isn't that hard. It took me a little over 9 hours and 45 minutes over a period of 3 streams. I recommend getting all the secret shortcuts first, then completing all the races, and then completing most of the missions and arenas, and you'll be fine. Minigames are kind of hit or miss. The bowling ones are good, albeit the Astroland bowling minigame is pretty hard. Wow. So this is going to be my downfall. I win a round! Strike. The tables have aligned. Wait, no. Wait, that's... Time trial has just the slightest bit of difficulty on 1 or 2 tracks. Ah. Are you So really, just play it how you want. I will say by the time I got to Astroland, I was counting down all the side activities I had left. Anyway, let's move on to by far the best part of the game. The music. The music is good. Every song is a fucking bop. Take a listen.
Let's just put no.
The music for Crash Tag Team Racing was largely made by Mark Barrel and Spiralmouth, with additional tracks by Michael Nielsen. You may recognize the name Spiralmouth because they came into being to make the music for Crash Twinsanity, and we all know how great that soundtrack was. Spiralmouth is an a cappella group which makes all of their music with their mouths. Unfortunately, the group was disbanded shortly after Tag Team Racing's release. Oh wait. Hang on. Oh shit. I think most tracks, besides the minigames, are really fantastic. The minigames are okay. I mean, they're just whatever. One of my favorite tracks is the Happily Ever Faster theme. Ever since I was a kid, there was a part of the song that just randomly popped into my head every couple of months. And because of that, I call the song the Jin Jin Jai Injin song. Another cool thing is that for each track, there is a standard theme, a losing theme, and a winning theme. Now, I personally find it hard to pay attention to music in games in general, as I get way too locked in on the gameplay. I can't even talk and play sometimes. But when I sit down and listen to the tracks in isolation, I can appreciate them much better. And I really do appreciate this soundtrack. I use it all the time in my videos. However, in terms of sound effects, there's really nothing that stuck out to me. Is there a way? Oh yeah. Now, sound design wise, I do like that the music in the on foot portions are sourced from points throughout the parks, sort of like speakers in like Universal or Disney or some other park.
It helps maintain the illusion.
Also, during races, the characters like to have a couple funny lines when you pass by or destroy them, so those are pretty good too.
Waiter, check please!
I like the art style in this game. I think it aight. One thing I've paid more attention to this time around was how the park worked. I looked for hidden cogs and machinery, light fixtures high up in the air, OSHA violations, stuff like that. I mean, there are a lot of OSHA violations, but Von Clutch is a genius German cyborg. If he is able to get away with a functional Rocky in his park, then he is probably smart enough to cover up any violations when the inspector comes, and to evade taxes.
Dr. Neo Periwinkle Cortex. Okay.
Stop.
One of my gripes with the graphic design in particular are the designs of the crates. They're kind of like these small and like weird things. They kind of remind me of Super Mario Land a little bit. And then also Aku Aku isn't in this game. Oh wait, there he is. Every park has a sense of environmental progression to it. In Mystery Island, you go from a beach shore to underwater, and Happily Ever Faster you transition from good to evil. In Tyrannosaurus Rex, you progress from the prehistoric age into the Ice Age. In Toontown, you travel from the desert outside into a trap-filled tomb. And in Astroland, you go from Uranus to Uranus to Uranus, hence you could probably tell they were running out of ideas. I should also mention that there are costumes you can unlock by purchasing them from the park drones with the orange t-shirts above their head. No microtransactions or battle pass needed. I think it's neat that some characters have an actual reason for dressing up. Nina needs a job, so you have to buy a worker outfit for her.
Oh, this is so lame. You have to get me a job.
Okay, buddy, this should be enough money to overcome my serious principles. Your weird friend gets the job.
Woohoo! You did it? You got me the job? Crash, you are so gullible.
And Engine, well, he just wants to be a femboy.
I'm crying because I'm not pretty. Thank you. Finally, I look as pretty as I feel.
Guys, it's a GameCube game. It's not gonna look amazing. I did stream this game on an emulator, so I'm sure there were some graphic issues here and there, but it does look pretty close to how I remember it being on the original hardware. I will say, the skins on some of the characters looked a bit smeared, but everything else was mostly fine. All in all, I think Crash Tag Team Racing is a decent, albeit easy game if you're just looking to beat it. Again, if you're a Crash Racing fan, I do think you should check it out. If you don't want to, that's fine, but I do believe if there's anything you should take away from this review, it's to listen to the goddamn soundtrack. Nowadays, I'd say the game is worth about $10 at your local flea market, or you could just, acquire it through other means that I don't support. So if you like this series and want it to continue, please like and subscribe. Most of my views come from YouTube recommendations, so it really help me if you do so. Also, as a reminder, the subscription tab exists. Not just for my sake, but for other smaller channels out there, please use that tab. The YouTube algorithm is a bit wonky these days, and you cannot rely on the recommendations through the homepage to give you the same content from people that you have subscribed to. That will be all. Please have a fantastic life, and I'll further our parasocial relationship in the next video.
Stars.